You currently locked into the coldest podcast in the land. It's your boy, B. Jones, aka Bolo, and you know when I'm pulling up to the porch. I can't pull up without my dog.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Big Smitty, aka D Nice, and you heard Bolo just said, this is the porch. Welcome. How you doing, brother, man?
Blessed, highly favored. Hey, you know I can't come on here without talking about God, brother. How you doing?
Hey, man. Hey, I second that, man. God is good. It's been I know I say this every show almost. It's been a busy week though. It's always
busy.
It's always
good,
a busy
bro.
week. Yes.
And it makes the week go by faster, day go by faster. You know, we ain't wishing the days away, but you know, one step closer to the weekend, you know.
Of course, man. And so excited for today's episode, man. Listen, I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been waiting for this day to get this special guest on to just learn more about her story. And I ain't gonna keep her waiting. So if y'all don't know, this is a singer. She's a songwriter, producer, and engineer. Just an overall dope individual. The one and only Erica Leshai. Welcome to the porch.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. You feel me? I was excited to be on the podcast as well. I heard a couple of other episodes and I was like, okay, they talking about God. That's the type of time I'll be on too. So
come on,
definitely part of the vibe. Happy to be here.
Come on,
absolutely.
Now. See, God don't make no mistakes. There's
no
a
mistakes.
Reason why
you're here for a reason.
Something led us to Erica, and something led her to want to be on. So it might be some magic about to happen. Not some magic, some just good energy about to happen here on the show. So I'm excited.
You know it,
right?
Locked in.
Yes, man. So yeah, no, definitely a pleasure, and we cannot wait to learn more about you. But first, we got to start off with our porch news. Bolo, I know we had an interesting topic that was trending online, and definitely want to hear about it. So Bolo, let us know what we got in the porch news today.
Okay, family. So we got to spin the block one more time here on Porch News, right? So since we have the lovely Erica on the show, it's only right that we touch on Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. So obviously, most recently, it's been tearing up social media that she goes 50-50 with Dwayne Wade. And obviously, a lot of people have chimed in, gave their opinions on how they think this is nonsense. And some people have, you know, understood that, okay, 50-50 is cool. So Erica, what is your stance on the 50-50 situation?
My stance on the 50-50 situation, I think that if the partner that you're with is like, they're making more than you, like they have more to contribute, you know, I don't really see the purpose of going 50-50 in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not mad at 50-50 in relationships where both parties are working and, you know, and they're like on the same like level as far as like finances go. But if she is the woman and she's saying that she's struggling and like people might not get fed and she's struggling to come up with her half, but her dude got it and he's not, like that's kind of odd to me. You know, like the men that I've dated, I don't think that they would want to see me struggle in any regard, and they're not multi-millionaires, you know.
Right.
So that's a little crazy, you know, for me. If she's handling it and it's not like something that's hard for her, then that's one thing. But if she's struggling to come up with her half and he's coming up with it and there's no problem, it's like, you know, I've never been with a man who has watched me struggle and been okay with that. You know,
that's fair.
That's real.
Because I didn't think about it in that light. I just thought about it as if, you know, you just think, you know, everybody just assumed that the man is supposed to carry most of the weight, you know, regardless of the situation. But she did mention that, you know, she was sometimes worried about putting food on the table. So that does play a factor. If you're struggling and you kind of wondering where your next meal may come from, then that should be an indicator for somebody to step in. So I agree. I agree on
a little
that.
assistance, you know?
Right. And I believe too, like just looking back at the post, just for like some clarity too, I think they go 50-50 on like their shared bills, like the mortgage, stuff like that. Yeah. But she's like fully responsible for her separate individual bills, and he's responsible for his separate individual bills. And I think that's what led to her saying that she doesn't feel comfortable sometimes. Like she feels like she has to always be working and trying to figure out a way to, you know, get that money because she still has that fear of not being able to put food on her plate. And but my question for y'all is, because like this is Gabrielle Union.
Sense, though.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, so if they split their household bills, the things that are like joint between the two of them,
right,
and then like, and she's able to handle that, but then when it comes to her personal stuff, that's what's causing more of a problem. Is either he can help with that, or she needs to like downgrade some of that other external stuff that she got going on, because living beyond your means isn't necessarily good either. And I'm not pocket watching. I don't know what's going on in that household, but at the same time, like, if this extra stuff is such a strain on you, then maybe some of that needs to be let go of. Or either you can ask the man that you married to, because I come from like a very traditional household, if you will. My parents are still married. Even though my mom, she did work, like my dad, he worked as well. And like they handled those things together. But it's like, he wouldn't allow for her to struggle, like I said, and he's not a multimillionaire. So even if it is some excessive stuff that she's doing, either she needs to downsize some of that other stuff, or he should help out, as the traditional role of being protector and provider, which is what I was taught by my father that a man does.
Facts. Now let me ask you this then, Erica. So seeing that you come from a traditional household, they mentioned 50-50. So what if the roles were flipped? Because if Dwayne Wade was, 75-25, he was doing majority of it, nobody would bat an eye. But if Dwayne Wade was struggling and he needed it, you think the world will look at that differently? Would you look at that differently?
I think the world would look at it differently. I wouldn't, though. I wouldn't look at it differently, because it was a time, when I was actually about to be born. My mom, she was pregnant with me, and my dad had lost his job. So in those instances, the woman may have to take on more of the like financial burden, to make it work. But if you guys are invested in each other, and the type of man that you're dealing with, it's not going to be that way for a long time, because any man that like has ambition and is driven, he might be down and out for a little bit, but he's not going to stay that way, And if that's the type of man you're dealing with, then you will help him out while he's in that time of being down and out,
Love it.
That's real. Now that's real wisdom. Like we always say, but it's so great having a woman's perspective on so many, like any of these topics, but especially relationship specific topics, because we can only come from a man's point of view, and sometimes we're missing that other angle. So definitely love hearing that. And just kind of my closing statement on this Gabrielle Union too, though, right? Like, she got bread. Like, she ain't got D Wade bread, but this is Gabrielle. This is come on now. Like, why she talking like she broke?
Yeah, sometimes people bite off more than they can chew, though.
Exactly. Some people, it might look like that they should have everything together, but you never know what type of debts that they have, who they owe. Well, you don't know. It could seem like they're making a lot of money, but that may not be the case. I remember it was this one person that I forgot who it was. It was a comedian or somebody. They were a social media like influencer, if you will, and they made content. And they said they had like 1 million followers, but was about to get put out of their place, Wow. So you literally never know. They could seem like somebody's really up, but you don't know what's going on with them,
That's real.
That's true, man. That's true. Bad Boys 2, bring it on. I guess you're right. You're right. I don't know.
It ain't been a lot of movies lately, like
it has been a minute. It has been a minute.
You really don't know.
I think our last.
Well, it might be a new Bad Boys coming out, so she might, we'll see what happens. Man. At the end of the day, shout out to Gabby, shout out to D-Wade. If it's working for y'all, that's all that matters, man. So
facts.
Love it, man. Bolo, thanks for the Porch News. Definitely appreciate that. And can't wait to hear from our Porch listeners who are, listening in, whether it's on Caffeine or Apple, Spotify, wherever you're tuning in on. We definitely want to hear from you. So let us know in the comments. But Erica, man, so excited to learn more about you and dive into your music career and just all things you. But one question we love to start off with when we bring on our guests, for the new listeners, people who this is their first time meeting you, how would you answer this question? Who is Erica Leshai?
Who is Erica Leshai? I guess I would classify myself as a lover, if that makes any sense. I love people, like relationships with solid people. I feel like is the reason for existence. And I love looking at the beauty of creation, so those are my two motivating factors, I guess that's all I can say. I mean, I know that's brief, but I would classify myself as that. And then everything else that comes out of that, music and, speaking and talking on, online and in public places and all of that comes out of, this love that I have for what I do,
Hey, I love that.
Dang. That's kind of deep. That's kind of deep too. Like you said, it was simply put, but it kind of had a lot of meaning to it when you said like the being able to love creation. You mean just like people, like things that are created like naturally?
Yeah, like people are a part of God's creation and like the earth. I'm kind of a nature outdoorsy kind of person. Like I'm the type of person that I'll go hiking all the time, got hiking boots. I like to be outside camping. I don't mind going and getting in a lake or a creek or something like that. Like those are things that I enjoy doing greatly. And it's kind of hard finding people that want to come do that with you, but stuff that I do, I feel like I'm not myself if I'm not out in nature, at least on a monthly basis. I got to go into the mountains and hike or something.
That's cool. Real. Nah, I love that, man. I love that. Me personally, I haven't been on a hike in a little minute, so I feel like the weather out here in LA is finally back to being like LA. Right. It was kind of weird for a while, so it was raining every single day. It felt like, so I'm about to go on a hike, sometime soon myself. So, but yeah, man, you mentioned, one of your love is obviously your music, right? And I just want to ask you, how did you find music? Like, what led you to music?
I feel like music kind of chooses people, you know what I'm saying? So it was something that was like already in me. And then my dad, he saw that and he helped me to cultivate it. Like, cause my dad, I don't know if you guys know this, but my dad is a pastor, well, bishop now. And so he wanted me to learn to play for the church. So when I was 11 years old, he put me in marching band and I started learning how to play all sorts of instruments. And from there, like music became an obsession for me,
Beautiful. That's cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know Possible was a bishop, man. Shout out to
shout out to Pops. Absolutely.
I love it.
And for some of the people who obviously don't know too much about your music yet, how would you describe to our listeners your style of music?
My style is just very much R&B, neo soul. I make music that I feel like people should be able to feel and relate to, regular experiences or personal relationships, and just an expression of how I'm feeling, but in a very mellow, kind of sultry way. That's the type of music that I like. It's very calming, very peaceful. It puts you into it set the vibe and the environment in your house or wherever you at, So that's how that kind of music I make.
That's real. Bolo, I can hear it in her voice too. Like you're not even singing right now.
It's subtle. Like
I just feel in peace right now. Like I'm about to light a candle on the porch. Like I'm ready to just like, you know what I mean? So she's just real calm and peaceful. Like I'm about to call you when I'm stressed. Like just Erica, just talk. What's up? Like
No, I feel you. People have literally done that. My friend called me one night and he was driving. He was like, I need somebody to keep me up. And I was like, okay. And we were talking. He was like, your voice kind of too smooth. It's put me to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I need to talk like a Valley girl or something? Because I could do that too,
I love it, man.
No, I appreciate the compliment for sure.
Yeah, of course, man. So, you talk about your style, and you when I asked you, how you describe yourself, you say you're a lover. So it kind of takes me back to your EP you dropped a couple years ago called The Love Movement, which pretty much celebrated all things love, but specifically Black love. You're someone who's like openly pro-Black, and I just want to ask you, like, why is Black love so special and just important to you?
Black love is divine. You feel me? Black love is divinity. It is the essence of godliness, in my opinion. I don't think there's anything more divine because, like, I make a lot of things, right? I feel like there's a difference between creation and making. Like I make earrings, I make music, I use materials that were already present, like the musical notes and all that was already here before I ever got here. But when you create another life with somebody, like no one could do that but me and that person. Like no one else can produce like the child that will come out of me. So that within itself is an act of like divinity and creation. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Black people, with how we are, like the genetic diversity that we have, because I love science is another thing that I like, but just understanding like the depth that's in us and the spirit and the soul that's in us, I feel like there's nothing more beautiful than Black love and creating more Black people. So yeah, Black love is divinity. That's why it's a big
Black love.
Black love is divinity, divine. I love hearing that, man. You know what I mean? And by the way, myself, my guy Bolo, we're both married men, both married to a Black woman, Black queens. You know what I mean? So come on now.
Absolutely.
So my wife and
y'all divinity. Y'all in it.
Tapped in.
We in it right now. I'm ain't no switching up. I'm in it. Like I ain't, you know what I mean? So no, it's beautiful. It's beautifully said. I love it. So that's staying on topic of music. You just dropped a hit single a few months ago called Stingy. Now, tell me, because I've been listening to the song all day. It's a hit. I love it. I was listening to it literally right before you came on here today. Where did that inspiration come from? Because if I'm being honest, Erica, it sound like that's a personal message to somebody. Like the way you were singing it, it just didn't seem like you made that up.
I am the kind of artist that, you gotta watch out. You like dating me is it's you're gonna hear about yourself.
Thanks.
I write totally from experience. So if I sang it in a song, 9 times out of 10 it happened. It might not have happened exactly like that, but it for certain happened. So Stingy, I wrote it about this dude that I was really feeling too much, honestly. That's how I felt. Like I hadn't really liked somebody like that in a long time. Because a lot of times what happens is like men approach me and and they'll show interest in me, and I already know that the interest is there, you feel me? And so I'll determine whether or not I want to go forward with them or whatever. But in this situation, he did show interest in me, but I became very interested in him. I feel like more than he was in me. And so I wanted his time and to talk to him and all that, but I wasn't trying to do too much. I didn't want to be like weird and pressing him or nothing like that. But it's like, I do want your time though. And I feel like he was being stingy with it, And so I wrote the song like, I ain't got to be waiting on nobody to text me. You feel me? But why am I waiting on this man to text me?
Right.
So yeah, I wrote the song, and then at the end I say something about like fingers all in your hair as we laid on the floor. That's literally, we were talking, I was rubbing my fingers through his hair. So yes, the stuff I say in the music is definitely
real.
If he did hear it, he for sure knows that it's about him.
Come on, brother. Now, why you being stingy with the love? She rubbing. Listen, be real, Bolo.
That's probably made him feel good though. Once it came out though, to just know it's like
on some ego,
though.
On some
like,
ego,
on some ego,
yeah.
On some like, damn, like it made me go home. Like, yeah.
I'm sure he was feeling himself.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked though, unfortunately.
Dang, he could be tuning in right now to the porch. He could already be following us. He might know right now.
No, well, that's a possibility. Yeah.
But I feel like it's like, let me ask you this: like, you obviously making a song about a situation that kind of got to you a little bit. That taps into more of the emotional intelligence, right? Of like you like understanding your feelings and being able to vocalize that. And a lot of men really can't do that. Like sometimes we speak from experience, but not really speak to like the specifics to really help. Does that help you when you're speaking from like real life experiences?
Most definitely. If I'm not like writing music, I will go crazy. Like I will literally go insane. Like I feel like the music is what I have to do this. It's not like it's popular, people are making music, people can be or whatever. Like for me, I started writing poetry when I was like 8, and then I learned to play instruments, and so I put both of them together. So like I have to do this. Because I have a song, I haven't released it, but it's called High Anxiety. And I was literally having an anxiety attack. Like it was a lot going on. I hadn't been asleep for almost 2 days. I was just up, wired and stressed out. And I wrote a song about it. And after I wrote the song, it's like the song is like the release is like the catharsis. And once I get it out, now I can release the emotions that's associated with that. So the music for me is therapy. Like I need it because I was gonna feel jaded and like he trying to play with me until so after I wrote it, I was okay again,
Damn.
And that's real.
That's real. It's deep too though, man. Like, cause like I feel like for me, like there's different, like I find my therapy in different ways and different times depending on the situation. But like one of the things that I do, like Monday through Friday, I gotta work out every morning. Like it's just like a weird thing now where if I don't, I just like my days off. Mentally, I just feel like I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just like I feel like I need it, like you just said, when it comes to the music. So it's very interesting to just hear that perspective and hear about how healing it can be. It's almost like music is protecting you from situations because you might have went off on Buddy maybe. Like who knows how you would have acted, but you releasing that song and stuff is like, all right, like I'm cool, like it's off my chest. It's all like what I'm saying. You just never know. So
yeah. I did go off on I wrote the song before I went.
Damn, Erica, I was trying to help you out. You ain't have to tell on yourself.
I know, but that's definitely like, I feel like I don't have a lot of L's, but that's one I just gotta hold, because that's, it is what it is. I wrote the song because I wanted time with him, and then when he came over and we was rubbing on each other, we didn't do nothing too crazy, but still, it's a lot more than
making
like,
that connection.
Yeah, like I don't be doing that kind of stuff a lot. Like it take a lot for me to be allowing somebody to rub me or touch me or something like that. That's not something easy. And so after that, like I didn't hear from him, and I ain't like that. And so I told, like, I sent them one of them long text messages that women should never send.
Your figures was going fast too.
Because Eric, us guys, we're gonna take maybe 2 sentences out of the whole paragraph and then just kind of go from there. Like,
it's like I'm not reading that all that mess. You feel me? I mean, he did respond back and he said he wanted to talk and have a conversation because he feels like, I got to misconstrue, like that he's not trying to disrespect me or nothing like that. But he never really had a conversation about it. So.
Well, hey, Tom. Hey, listen, if it's meant to be, it will be. That's how I feel and believe. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Listen, we humans. We gonna be emotional, especially when we really put our time and invest into somebody, and you feeling somebody. Like we all done been there to some degree. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing wrong with that. So
let me ask you this, Erica, and I'm so glad we have a woman on the porch today, because like I think a lot of the times, right, let's just take a specific example, right, where this guy, you're trying to figure out what the answer is, why he's not hitting you back and things like that. I think obviously women always think that men have a bad way of explaining themselves or being able to show their emotions and things like that. But sometimes I think women aren't really ready for the truth.
Yeah.
So like when I'm actually giving you how I feel, then it almost turns around to more of like, you're attacking me, so now I have to attack back. Like, do you think women are really ready for the truth when like it's time to really sit down and have that conversation of like, okay, this is why?
No, I don't think so. I feel like, men be wanting to say a lot of different things, but it's like they don't know how the woman is going to take it, or if she going to get mad or get defensive. And to be fair, like we do hear some stuff, like women, we have a knack for like really internalizing and making stuff hella personal that it shouldn't even be that personal to us. Like if a man doesn't have time or he's busy, we just automatically assume that he don't like me, he not rocking with me at all, or whatever. And it's like, that might not be the case. That may be the case, but that might not be the case as well. So we just really, I've noticed that I do that. I'm not going to put it on all women, but I know for me, I've definitely internalized things in the past and made stuff about me that probably wasn't even really about me. It's just stuff that he had going on in his personal life that he's trying to handle,
That's a fact.
Where would you say that stems from for you personally? Like, is that just from like past trauma? Is it from maybe just your own like internal, like, we all got insecurity. I know I got insecurities myself. Most of us do. Like, where do those feelings and thoughts you think stem from for you personally?
I think for me personally, it's like probably a combination between past traumas and my upbringing. Like I don't like to bother people, because my dad, he would always tell me tell me and my siblings to like figure stuff out, and I would figure it out. And I got really good at researching and learning and figuring things out for myself, which is how I became a producer, an engineer, because I didn't like how this mix sounded. I'm gonna figure it out,
Right.
But with him being a pastor, like while I was younger, it was so many people that like needed him, and they would call him and they needed like counseling and guidance from him and my mom. And so I didn't want to add on to what they already had, like they have my siblings, they have like, if I need to deal with my problems, then I'm gonna deal with them, and I might not speak up or say something because I feel like I'm not trying to burden under other people. So for me, like, I know some of it comes from that, why I don't communicate sometimes, or while I just leave people alone, or I assume that they got stuff going on instead of like actually reaching out and seeing if they do want to spend some time, like I know that's the reason why I do that. And then past relationships, like if somebody, cheats on you, people don't realize like how damaging that could be. Because women, like I said, will internalize that. We won't say he cheated because that's just what he wanted to do. We'll say he cheated because I wasn't good enough. I wasn't attractive enough. I wasn't doing certain things. Maybe she did things that he liked that I didn't do or whatever. We'll internalize that, you know? So I feel like a lot of the stuff that people go through, it's past traumas and how they were brought up, you know?
Man, that's interesting. And I appreciate you for even being open and honest and real and to share that. You know, I think a lot of people need to hear that, because I think what you're sharing, a lot of us, a lot of people, a lot of listeners probably have those same feelings, been through those same situations. So I just think it's refreshing and good to hear. One thing I want to touch on before it slips my memory, with you having a father who's been a pastor, pretty much your whole life, he's a bishop now. Sounds like you grew up, like you said, traditional household, 2-parent household. I believe you have 4 brothers. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
You
I
got
do.
4 brothers. So like you grew up just in a household where it sounded like you had a great father figure, a great man. I'm sure your brothers was probably very protective. I'm a brother, I got a little sister, so I can only assume your 4 brothers are probably they ready for war. Anybody that mess with Erica Leshai. So with all those good, I guess, men and kind of role models, so to speak, in your household, do you feel like you set the bar very high for the man who you decide to, be in relationships with?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So yes, in the regards of like I saw their example, and I grew up with that and seeing how they operate and how they navigate. But then I also saw like the ugly parts of it too. Like my brothers weren't just the most, they were good, but they were still teenage boys at one point.
I get it. Yeah.
Right.
And they was doing some crazy stuff and doing women dirty sometimes. And so I got to see that. But so I'll say yes, it did help me, and have like set the bar high, like especially my father. But it also like kind of didn't give me a realistic outlook on how like men could be sometimes, because I expected like every man that I encountered to be like my dad and my brothers, where they'll protect me, be honest to me and tell me stuff. And then I had to realize that like, no, it's really some men out here that are shady and will lie to your face and will act crazy to you and will try to control you and manipulate you. So it was like, I got a rude awakening, dealing with some men. I won't say all. Like there's men that I've dated that were really solid to me, and we still cool with each other. I wish them the best in life. And it's men that I've dated that was like, I didn't even know men could be this crazy,
Right.
So it was a little bit of both.
Got you. Makes sense. That makes sense. Definitely makes sense. No, I appreciate that, man. Like you said, I mean, it's a great thing to obviously have such a great role model in your household that you see. But yeah, I could see how that could in some cases be like, like it's almost impossible to match up to your father. Like this man do it all, you know what I mean? So I can see both sides.
At the same time, like I don't expect, like I give people grace, especially men, because I know my dad, what he is now in his 60s, he wasn't like that at 30 something years old, so I'm not expecting 30-year-old men to be how my father is now in their 30s. Like that's just very unfair, so I give people, what I look for more so is like the ambition, like men that are driven. Like if you have the same type of drive and tenacity and ambition that my father has, then I can work with that. Even if you don't know all the things that he knows or whatever, I can work with ambition and tenacity and being driven. That's something that is very attractive to me,
Got you. That makes sense. As long as you got the ingredients to be this, I can work with that. We can make a meal. We can make something happen. So
we can make a meal.
I love it. Switching gears here, and we talked about this real brief before we even start the podcast. If anyone follows you on social media, TikTok, Instagram, you're very vocal. You're gonna speak your mind, and I love it. I love it. And it was something recently that you were speaking on. I think it was a video or a clip that was trending about this hypothetical situation where men are asking women like, hey, if your boyfriend or husband or whatever woke you up at 3:00 in the morning and asked you to cook them a meal, would you do it? And you basically came in saying like these relationship hypotheticals are annoying or frustrating, and they're actually harming the relationship between men and women, black men and black women specifically. Would love to just hear you, I guess, expound upon that a little bit more.
Yeah, man. I mean, these hypotheticals, they're a bunch of nonsense, because like 9 times out of 10, the questions that they ask people is stuff that people don't even really deal with in real life. Like there might be a handful of people where the husband is coming home at 3:00 in the morning because he works a late shift where that applies to them, and then it makes sense, you know what I'm saying? But for most people, that's not their reality. Like most people, I've been in relationships and I've never had that happen. No man has ever woken me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and asked me to cook up something. So it's like, what is the likelihood? We're getting all up in arms over these hypotheticals that will likely never happen. And then men are saying like, oh, see, that's like they're basing how they're going to operate with women off of hypotheticals, off of things that are never going to happen. And women do it too. We do it too. And so I feel like all of it is just really negative, but I feel like people like the hypotheticals because you get to be whoever you want to be. Like I saw a lot of the men in the comments saying stuff like, if I'm paying all the bills, she gonna cook whenever I want her to. But sir, you said if. So that means that's not your reality. You're not paying all the bills.
Right.
But in this hypothetical, you get to feel like the man who's paying all the bills. So you want to live in this delusion, but I'm not going to live in this delusion with you. I'm not going to do that. You can create this delusional world where you're hypothetically paying all the bills, but that's not the reality. And I'm not about to go there with you,
No, that's real. It definitely a lot of unnecessary arguments that happen from hypothetical situations, because sometimes even if I get to the situation, I'm asking my wife, like, babe, would you get up at 3 o'clock? And she'd be like, hell no. I'd be like, damn, what you on? Like, you really wouldn't cook me a sandwich like at 3 a.m. if I really was hungry? Like, so then now you just going back and forth, like,
yeah, now you arguing for no reason over
exactly.
If like that don't you haven't asked her that. You likely never will ask her that. And it's like, and to even ask somebody that within itself is selfish, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, who wakes somebody up while they sleeping? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Selfish. I don't wake. If I see people sleep, I'm a tiptoe and be quiet as to not wake them up.
Right.
But to just go and wake them up just because I'm hungry, like that's hella selfish. That's hella inconsiderate. And this ain't the olden days. Like they want traditional women, but they don't be traditional men, and vice versa.
Ooh, that's real.
So like, how are you gonna say, I want to wake this woman up and have her cook for me, but she got to get up and go to work too. So, you need to be cooking for her. If both of y'all got to get up and go to work, y'all need to alternate cooking. She can't be working and tending to all the household chores. Like that traditional stuff work for men who are really protecting and providing, and the woman don't have to work or do nothing. If that's the case for me, if I'm with a man and he's taking care of 100% of the bills, he can expect for all his laundry to be done, for the house to be clean, for a meal to be ready and all that, because I don't have to go to work. But if I'm having to go to work, then we got to share some of that, because I still have to go to work. This ain't no traditional relationship. This is a modern relationship where both of us is working.
Right.
Game right now. She's being game.
So now my brain is turning. D-Neil, my brain gets to turn, and I got to start asking questions, right? So for the men, so I'll speak on behalf of the men. So when women are, cooking, cleaning, and doing some of the stuff that you ask them to do, we consider it as them, being submissive, right? Understanding, right? But if they don't do that, right, then we don't consider them as submissive. So I know we always kind of go back and forth with the traditional way of how the world works. Can a woman be submissive if they're going 50-50?
Ooh. I think she can, I think a woman could be submissive to any man that she truly respects, regardless of the financial situation. Like if a woman really respects that man, then she could be submissive to him. I feel like the submission goes out the window when there's no respect. If you don't respect this person, then you're not going to submit to him. Because even in the instances where we have to split bills and stuff, it's like, I still trust his vision. I still trust that he has direction for his life. So I'm doing this and I'm doing what he says because I trust the direction that he has for not only me and him, but for our lineage as a whole, and when we talk about submission and being submissive, I was taught that word submission breaks down to submit to the mission. And a lot of men want submission, but don't have a mission in life. How am I supposed to submit to that?
Hold on, Eric. I can't let you just run back. Can you say that one more time?
You got to run that back.
You can't just say that and then keep going. Whoa.
Yeah. Submission, it breaks down to submit to the mission, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you don't have a mission, then submission shouldn't even be a part of your vocabulary. Because the type of woman that I am, like, I don't think about just me. You feel me? Like, what can I do to make me look like a boss? How can I look cool and all that? It's not about that. It's about, you know, you guys know, we talking about the scripture and stuff. We talking about Proverbs 13 and 22, that a good man leaves up an inheritance for his children's children. So when I'm thinking about a person, I'm thinking about our grandchildren's grandchildren. It's not just about us in this moment. And if you don't have a plan or an idea about how they're going to benefit from what we do today, then I can't submit to you. It's like getting in a car and the GPS is on and there's no destination. We're just driving around aimlessly. And that's what a lot of men want women to do, want them to submit and follow, but you're not leading me anywhere. You know, like my dad always had a mission. He always had a vision. He made that very clear at a very young age, that there was things that he wanted. He wanted to have a home for each of his children. There was things that he wanted. And my mom was able to see the vision and get behind that vision. In times where he wasn't where he should be financially, she was able to look towards the vision that he had and continue to work with him because she believed in that vision. You know, so that's all I'm asking. I'm asking men, you want submission? I'll do all of that. I'll do everything. You know, I've done it before. Do laundry, have the food ready and cooked when he come home from work. All he got to do is go get in the shower and the towels are laid out for him. I've done that and I don't have a problem with it. Like, we as women, that's what we do. We nurture, we care for the ones we love. So that's not a hard thing. But I'm only going to do that for somebody that got a vision, you know?
Now, my only little rebuttal to that, I agree with pretty much everything you said. Like, the men, we have to have a plan. We have to have a mission. But a lot of these women have chosen to be with these men. They're in relations with them. So, like, if you're choosing to be with these men, to me, that means you have to have that trust. Otherwise, why are you with them in the first place? So if you're choosing to be with them, then you should be submissive, because in your head, he has done whatever you think he should do in order for him to be your man. Like, does that make sense? Like, how you gonna be with me?
A lot of sense.
Yeah,
that's
like,
how it should be, but that's not how it is. See, people, they don't want to be alone. So you'll get in a relationship with somebody that you don't respect, that you don't see them having a vision, because you don't want to be by yourself. You don't want to be alone.
Seat filler.
You know, exactly. And it's like, we have to not do that. Men and women alike have to stop that. Like, me personally, I can admit that ever since like my late teenage years, I have been in some sort of relationship. You know, even if I was broken up, there was always a man that I was entertaining where we can go out and, you know, enjoy and go on a date or whatever. But to actually just take some time and be by myself. Like, I've been by myself for like the past 9 months and really been by myself. Like, I'm not texting nobody. I'm not cupcaking and nothing. I'm literally by myself. And that's hard. It's a hard thing to just sit alone and not try to entertain somebody or something. So what happens with people, when women get in these relationships and they with a man and he don't have no vision or they don't respect him, is because she'd rather do that than to be alone. You know?
Dang, that's real. Yeah, no, that's a good perspective. I didn't even think about that, Bolo. That's a good point.
I ain't either.
That's a good point, man.
Nobody like being alone.
Don't nobody like being alone. Even if they going through hell, they not alone. They like, shit, I'll go through hell with you then and just be miserable. Now, my last question on the submissive side of things, I think you could probably speak to this perfectly, and it'll help like the male population try to, you know, dead this notion that we have. So there's this big thing that an independent woman cannot be submissive. You know, there's a big thing of how like women, if they can do it all, you know, they figure out they carry it well and they run through it. And women are taking on these big roles now in the world today, and they taking care of business. And what comes with that is, you know, the independentness of like not needing a man and things like that. Speak to that. Like, how can we kill the notion of an independent woman being submissive?
Well, there is some truth to that, I will say, you know, and it comes from just having it comes from just having to do that, having to be so-called independent and having to watch your own back. For women, it's a thing that we have to relinquish control. Like, for me personally, like, I'm used to looking out for myself, like being observant because of the type of family that I have. Grew up Los Angeles. We got to watch our back. Like I'm looking the same way men observe and be looking who coming in and out the door. I do that too. I got 4 brothers,
Right.
But it's like, in addition to that aspect, like if you are taking care of all your bills and you got a car and all that stuff is in your name and you saving up money and all of that, there comes a time where it's like you have to be mindful and intentional about relinquishing control, and relinquishing control to the right person. Because a lot of women feel jaded and won't relinquish control because they did it before in the past to someone they shouldn't have done it for, and he let them down, So I'm not saying it's entirely true that, independent women can't be submissive, but it's like we have to do the work of allowing a man to lead and allowing him to take the role, because we feel like no one likes to know it all. And a lot of time women have like done things and they've achieved things on their own. They know a lot and they'll be quick to tell you what they know,
Quick.
They'll be quick to tell you,
right.
But you can't son a man. You can't son him. You feel me? Because then he's like, what I've learned about women is that we have to feel loved and cared for, and men have to feel needed. And we have to stop making men feel like we don't need them, because we do. So I think it's a dual thing. Women have to be more so in the mindset of relinquishing control and allowing the man to take that leadership role, and just turn it over, because we've been doing that for ourselves. And then men have to be in an understanding position and know that that's what it is. That's what the reality is. And once you do get that, submission from the woman, like don't fumble it,
Right.
Because that's how we got hard in the first place,
Right.
Man, nah, that's big.
Dang, that's
man.
real game.
It is, because I just feel like as a man, like today, in today's age, like it's crazy because, like, of course, we're glad that women are flourishing, making money, getting degrees. Like of course, that's a beautiful thing. On the contrary, on the flip side, though, I feel like it's because of women being so independent and men not being like as needed. I almost feel like we're almost devalued by a lot of women, because it comes down to a point where it's like, especially nowadays, a lot of women nowadays like, well, if he ain't making 6 figures or he ain't making more than me, if he ain't doing it, it comes down to money. So where men subconsciously, even I've had my thoughts sometimes as a man, feel like, dang, like, oh, I ain't making enough money. I can't afford this. I can't. And you feel like you're not really a man almost. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to explain, but it's an added pressure as a man to just be the richest, the strongest, the best car, had everything. If you lack it in any area, it just makes you feel like almost less than, because society has valued men by how much money we make. Right. To me, that's what it is. And it's like, to me, a man, we bring so much more to the table outside of just money, but that's not how society looks at us.
And that's what the problem is. Like, we have debased ourselves to like the lowest factors. Like, men are valued by the money and women are valued by, our lady parts, for the most part. And so those are the two things that we like are broken down to, but both of us are so much more than that. And I feel like a lot of people devalue the men because they've never experienced what like a man could actually do for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was talking to a homegirl and she was telling me like, she had dated, it was this guy that she was really liking, and they finally, decided to date each other. And she was saying like how he was so gentle with her, and like he was like, it wasn't just like sex, but it was intimacy.
Right.
And it was her first time like experiencing that. And she was in her 30s, So I feel like a lot of women, base men's value on money because they really haven't experienced it. Because when you have experienced like a real man, a man that like cares about you, and not just cares about you in regards of like, oh, I want to smash, but cares about your well-being, cares about your minds, and will really like put his life on the line to make sure that you straight. That's not something that you downplay. It's not something that you take for granted. So I feel like so many women just haven't experienced that, which is why like I could never be on some, we don't need these men and all that, because I've experienced it. I'm like, who's we? Like,
for yourself.
I know what I need. I'm not even about to play. If people call me if you want to, I know what that life is like, and I need that life because I don't want to live life without that.
Man,
that's real.
That's beautiful, man. I love hearing just a black woman just say that, though. You know what I
Speaking
mean?
of real though, like,
Just
because ain't
speaking
too
it
many people
real.
gonna come in there and just say like, this is what I need. Like,
Right.
I ain't gonna cap with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we really appreciate the honesty there. Like, we need more people like that. Just come out. We know what y'all want. Y'all just gotta say it.
Yeah. I mean, you're more likely to get what you want if you're honest with yourself about it. You know, if you're lying about what you want, it's gonna be hard to get it. But like, I know what it is, you know, and I know like just the overall, men bring so much to the table. It'd be times where women be stressed out and we be frantic and stuff. And men have just like come up to us and just rubbed our back or gave us a hug and held us. And it's like all of that just evaporates. Whatever.
See that love.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like people talk about what they don't need. Yes, you do need that. You might not have experienced it before, but I'm telling you, you're missing out. You need it.
Missing out.
Hey, that hug be changing the game. Like, I'm a bigger dude. My wife's small. You know what I mean? You know, my wife like 4'11 and a half. She's small. I'm 265 solid. Sometimes I come home, wife had a long day. She's a nurse. She a theater. She's stressed out. Baby, how was your night? How was your night? Just give me a hug. Say no more.
That's it.
That hug changed the game. The hug changed the game.
Heart rate go down.
And then for her, you mentioned it earlier, Erica, way at the beginning of the show. Y'all do this thing where y'all like scratch our head and back of our neck. Ooh.
I'm saying, man, people missing out. They missing out being so stubborn and trying to act like hard. They don't need to. You do need, I'm telling you, life is better.
Life is better.
You know?
Life is better.
I love it, man. One thing you mentioned, and I know we had you on for a while, but it's been such a beautiful conversation, and we went places I didn't think we were going to go to. But a couple more things I definitely want to touch on. You mentioned how women, unfortunately, are valued by their lady parts, and we live in a time frame now where it's a sexual liberation, movement. I know you talked about it before, many times, just about just how everyone's. It's like praise to just go sleep with whoever you want to sleep with and however many people you want to sleep with and just focus on a life of pleasure and lust. Talk about just how, I guess, harmful or dangerous you think this is.
I mean, it's so incredibly detrimental, because it just distorts something that is supposed to be beautiful and sacred, and a lot of people, it's crazy that so many people are like sex crazed and they go in and they want to just have sex with any old body, but it's like you're not even getting what you should, what should be coming from it. It's like you doing this, but you getting a halfway version of it. It's detrimental to men and women alike because it's like that's a very like sacred part of yourself that you're not just supposed to be sharing with whoever. Honestly, that act is supposed to create life.
Right.
And doing that with somebody that doesn't know you and that you're not comfortable with is really doing yourself a disservice, And women specifically, there's a lot that happens with us hormonally when we have sex. And so we could try and pretend like I could just hit this man and then I don't feel no type of way about it. Like when we have sex, there's a whole concoction of dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin is released. And that oxytocin and serotonin will make us believe that we're in love. So while we sit online lying, talking about whatever, we be really broke up. Even the women who have had multiple partners, because I have all sorts of people that I know and that I associate with. I don't judge people, what I'm saying? And so I know people that have had, dozens and dozens of partners. But when they open themselves up to somebody and then he just dip off, they be broken. It doesn't matter how many times that's happened. It still mess with you, because of the way our bodies are set up. We're not supposed to be doing that. So I feel like it's really detrimental. It's detrimental, and it shows like a lack of value for ourselves and the people that we're dealing with, because if you valued yourself, you would see yourself as something that everybody shouldn't have access to, I like that I can say like I can go places and I can see people and it's not like I just keep running into men who have seen me naked. I like that, it's only a handful of men that can say, I know what that's about because this is exclusive. I'm bougie. That's what I say. I'm bougie with this. This is be up in here. Can't everybody say that they just been up in here? And if you care about yourself, you should feel that way about yourself. Like if you have a really nice house, like a mansion, would you just allow any vagrant off the street to just in there filthy, they got mud and stuff, and then they just coming up and just staying
no.
in the house. You wouldn't do that. Even if you just had a little regular apartment, you wouldn't invite in just whoever that you knew for a day to just come and be up in here. So why do we treat our bodies worse than we would treat our home or our car?
You know? That's real.
Oh my God. You ain't crazy. Some people don't know my address. I don't even want you even knowing what side of town I'm on. Like,
that's a fact.
You know where I live, the vicinity or nothing like that. You know?
That's a fact.
It's very harmful, you know, it's very harmful, and it just really tarnishes something that should be sacred. Because when you do, like, because you guys are married, when you're with somebody that you love and that you're comfortable with, that's a freeing thing.
Facts. That is a very free thing.
You ain't got to worry about nothing. You ain't got to be self-conscious, or do they think this about me? Or, you know, if my leg won't reach back and can we laugh about it? Or is he going to be upset? We ain't got to worry about none of that. Right. You know, I'm 100% comfortable with this person, and there's such a liberty and freedom in that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Soul ties is real. It's a real thing, connecting souls. So let me ask you this, since we're on the conversation, seeing that somebody has a lot of bodies, right? You know, sexual partners, are you interested in say you get into a new relationship, right? Are you interested in their body count? Does it play a big factor?
It doesn't necessarily play a big factor. I feel like this is where, you know, a slight double standard comes into play. And I'm just honest enough to admit it, you know, like, I don't believe in changing the rules of the game. You can't. Like, the game is what it is. And what we have to do is just know the rules of the game and find out our strategy to navigate it. You know, I'm not saying men should have a high body count. I'm not saying that at all. I think that men and women alike should be choosy, but the same type of like hormonal things that happen with women, it doesn't happen with men. You know what I'm saying? So men are more easily able to deal with somebody and not have such a huge emotional attachment to where they're like devastated afterwards, you know? So like, if a man has a higher body count, it's not something that I like, to be honest. I'm not a fan of it, but it's not something that's going to be like, well, I can't be with you. But it's not something. But if you done all sorts of things, like you done really been out here,
right.
Regular sex ain't gonna do it for you no more. Then I'm like, I gotta tap out. You know?
Right. You know, you can't be having me. You know what I mean? Way
doing
over
all
here
doing
these
toys
at the sex club down in
exactly,
LA.
right.
LA is a lot of stuff you can get into out here. So you gotta
right. You know, high body count is one thing, but you know, it's a lot of people. You know, especially like when you get into like certain levels. I guess people say date horizontally or vertically or whatever. I don't know. I forgot how they say, but you know, people that's like so-called on your level, you know, you start dealing with men that are like rappers or athletes or actors or whatever. And it's like, all right, you didn't got into some
shit
stuff. And I'm not that advanced. So you're gonna have to find someone else to meet there, because that's some extra stuff that I don't think I'm gonna be all right doing, you know?
Yeah, that's real. Do you kind of feel pressured as a woman, because of, like you said, I mean, obviously you're in the music industry, so you know a lot of the music is just talking about how freaky this girl is, or how freaky the dude is. It's very sexual, and the people talk a big game. I'm sure some people just lying for you know, just for the music, but I'm sure some of the stories and stuff that people are saying in music is true. As a woman though, when you're in those situations, you know, romantically, you're dating someone, do you kind of feel like pressured in a weird way to, I don't know, like be extra when you're in those sexual like situations, or like, I guess talk on that.
I don't, you know, like I just do what feels natural, you know, like I'm not gonna be with somebody that I'm not like really feeling. Like, I gotta love you to like open myself up to you. And if we're at that point, then I feel like you know, when you're comfortable with somebody and you love them, then there's really like not a lot of limits there. Like, there's things that, you know, if someone wants to, that I'll try or I'll do or whatever, you know, but it's like, but I have to get to that point with you, you know, so I don't feel pressured. Like, I'm not about to sit up and be like, well, I'm gonna be the best you ever had, or I'm gonna show you this. I'm like, no. It's not about that. It's like, how comfortable are we with each other? And if we all the way comfortable, if we locked in, then, you know, we'll do our thing. And that's our business.
Right.
You know, that's how I feel about that. I feel like, you know, that's how I feel about that.
I love it. I love it, man. Respect to that. Man, Bolo, I gotta go here. I know it was a part of the plan, but she said something that triggered an older conversation.
I know. I already know what you're about to say.
All right.
Go for it.
So my man Bolo, he's brought this up like multiple times in previous conversations. You know, he feels strongly one way about it. So I'm gonna ask you, based upon what you said, like the hormones that women have when you are intimate with the man and the lack thereof on the man's side, do you feel like when a woman cheats on her spouse, that it's like quote unquote worse than when a man cheats because of the emotional kind of attachment that women naturally have? Or do you look at it as just as equal? What's your take?
I do feel like it is a little worse when the woman does it. Now, the reason why
they ain't gonna like that, E. The women ain't gonna like that, E.
They're not, but I love it. I fucking love it.
We, you know, it is an emotion. Like a man, he'll go and have sex with a woman because she was there, you know what I'm saying? Or because she threw it at him, which is still not good.
Right.
It's not good. We don't like that. Being cheated on sucks because we as women internalize it and we start thinking we're not good enough, you know, and it messes with our minds. So it's, you know, it's raggedy either way. Right. But when a woman goes and cheats, you know, we normally not cheating just because the man presented himself, you know, or because he threw himself at us. We normally cheating because he piqued something in us emotionally, you know what I'm saying? Now, I've never cheated on anybody before, but I know that in order for me to like be with somebody, it ain't just a physical thing. It's not just, oh, he look good, let me go and have sex with him. Nah, that's never been a reason why I've had sex with anybody. Right. So if I'm doing that, there's something deeper. You know, it's not just a surface level. And I feel like sometimes when men cheat, it could be deeper. It could be deeper. It could be that he really liked this girl, you know, but the majority of what I've noticed, it'd be like, you know, she was there and she threw herself at him and all that kind of stuff, you know, and he should have turned it down, but he didn't. But for women, I just feel like men and women might cheat for different reasons. And I feel like the reason that women may do it is just heavier than men, which makes it kind of a heavier thing, you know?
I agree. I feel like for men, it's like a quick fix. And then like for women, sometimes it's like they trying to repair something that's like pretty big where they like, I'm missing something, you know, that I'm not getting in my relationship. So I need to, you know, go get it elsewhere. And the relationship for a guy can be perfect. And they can be like, oh, like, okay, she threw it at me. Like, okay, there it is. But then not even think about it. Like, boom, boom, wipe hands clean, gone.
Just raggedy.
It's raggedy. No, you're right. It's raggedy. Men, it's raggedy. We're not saying so that. But y'all women, listen, when women cheat though,
it's gonna tear men to their soul. Like y'all talk about how women feel.
Women don't play.
When a man gets cheated on and they feel it, they gonna feel it in the pit.
Yeah,
because women, y'all gonna plan it. Y'all gonna execute. Usually it ain't no one night stand. Usually y'all didn't seen Buddy a couple of times. Y'all didn't went and got some coffee the other day. It's kind of a build up. You know, it's levels.
So it's hurting.
And there's a possessiveness there too. You know, like women, we're possessive too. We be like, oh, that's my man and all of that. But at the same time, like men be really possessive, like over their women. It's like, that's my woman. And the thought of like of another man, you know, with his woman, and like, because women, we're the receptive, you know, we receive, and men, you know, give out. So it's like this, you know, another man has entered inside of my woman's body. You know, it's a lot.
Got the chills. I'm just never the same. I got the chills. Like,
it's heavy, you know, it's a heavy thing. You feel me? And and just knowing the science behind it, because it's like, you know, I ain't even gonna get into that, but just
we gonna have to bring you back on and be all science episode, because like I like learning. You done taught me a lot so far. Like
Facts.
I could do this all day, man. Switching gears a little bit, so folks, a little bit more on you. Did some research, man, on your social media, and I learned that you write some of your best music when you're single and when you're ovulating. Please explain to us how and when did you come to this conclusion, but more importantly, why do you think this is? Please break it down to us.
Well,
take your time.
I do keep an eye on my cycle just because you got to, as a woman, you got to plan around when things may pop up,
Yep.
So I keep an eye on it, and I've noticed that like when I've written really dope songs, I was ovulating and single. Now, when I'm ovulating and I'm not single and I'm in a relationship, I feel like the creativity, it comes from the same place, because when a woman is ovulating, she's fertile and she could create life. But music, comes from that same creative energy. Like you're creating something as well. And so if I'm not like in a relationship, I'm not using that sexual or creative energy with a man. Like I'm not with anybody right now. Right. So it's not being used on that, so I could use it on the music, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like I write the best music when I'm single and ovulating, because that creative energy is there. My body is trying to create something. And since it can't create a baby, we gonna create this song.
Something gotta come. I gotta create something. It's crazy because we had who was it, man? We had a sex therapist on. It wasn't Jen. What was our home? I'm having a brain fart. Who was our home girl, Bolo? It'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, she was talking about on the men's side how semen retention.
Oh yeah.
There's signs that men will put out their best results in whether it's career, whatever they're focused on.
Yeah.
When
they're
Doctor, what's her name? Dr. Canary?
Dr. Canary.
Yeah, Dr. Canary. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. Yeah.
Shout out to Dr. Canary.
Shout out to Dr. Canary. She said, semen retention. So it's kind of like similar, but on the opposite end.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because it comes from the same place. Like that sexual energy and creative energy are one and the same, And so like, if you're not utilizing it and having sex, then it could be used for other creative endeavors, So like, of course I'm not a man. I don't know anything about semen retention or how that works for you guys, but I know on my ends, I have, like I said, I've been single for real, like not entertaining nobody for a little while now, for almost a year. And I've written some of like, I've been optimal levels of productivity. I've been creative. I didn't come up with all sorts of ideas. And it's just like, I've really been utilizing that creative energy in a productive way,
I'm talking to my wife tonight. I'm gonna tell her, hey, I need 9 months, baby, no sex, nothing.
Look, she gonna have to sit on that one for a minute.
We gonna elevate though. We gonna give me 9 months of sacrifice to live the best life of the rest of your life. That's my pitch to her. Come on now. Come on.
So tell me, because stuff is going up. Like things that happened just today that I'm like, well, damn. Like life is about to change in the craziest way, and I'm very excited. So it's
wow.
Good.
I'm excited for you.
So seeing that all the positivity, all the positive stuff happens, and you're more creative when you're, not in a relationship. Is it more of a business decision to stay single?
Ooh.
I'm currently intentionally single right now. At first I wasn't. Like when I first was single, I was heartbroken and stuff, and that wasn't my intention. But then time progressed on, and I realized like I'm better. Like I've been working out consistently since January. I'm in the best physical shape of my life. Like my body is looking great. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's so many good things happening. It's not like I want to stay that way forever, but I do feel like this is a time in my life. I feel like there's levels. You know how you play a video game and you got this level and you can't get to the master level until you complete these other ones. I feel like I'm not on the relationship level right now. I'm on the level of like master self and heal old traumas so that once I get to the relationship level, I'll be ready.
Boom. Yep.
Okay. I like that breakdown.
It's not necessarily a business decision, but it's like, this is what I need for my own personal growth and mental health and emotional health, And then once I get, myself in a position where I have a routine and I have what I got going on in my life, and it's like, and I'm not going to drop everything, because I feel like that's what a lot of women do. We be doing good, and a man see us doing good and he be attracted to the fact that we're ambitious or we doing whatever.
Get into it.
And then when he come around, we just we drop everything. And now we catering to that man. We laying up, we not handling business. That's and then if that relationship drop off, now we got to rebuild that up again. So I need to be at a point where that foundation is laid and it's rock solid. Nobody could come in and disturb that, And
no, I'm sorry. I got one more question before we go to our quick hitters, and we're gonna let you go. Based upon what you just said, though, do you believe it's impossible to reach your highest levels of career success if you're in a relationship?
No, I don't believe that.
Okay.
I believe that like someone could help you. Like if you guys are on the same page and you have the same goals, or they have like some knowledge or information that can help you. Sometimes somebody you can get into a relationship and they can help you to be your greatest self. Like they can pull the greatness out of you, you know,
Right.
they can level you up. You guys can level each other up. That's what a relationship is supposed to be.
Right.
Now, in the past, I've had situations where I've dealt with men and it's gotten me off my focus, you know, and men I've dated in the past have like felt some type of way and have tried to like humble me. That was their words, like, "Oh, you think you all of that? You need to be humble." And it's like,
that's weird.
First of all, I'm a very down to earth person as is.
Yeah,
right.
It's just like, you know, I don't know, maybe stuff I don't know, but whatever insecurities that they have. So it's like,
right,
when you're in a relationship where they're not doing anything, then it will hinder you. But if you have somebody that is actively working towards some goals and all that, then you guys could actually make each other better. So, you know, that's why I said, like, I feel like I have to reach this level of getting to the point where I'm how I should be, so that when I do meet somebody in the next level, the relationship level, whatever that is, I'm not somebody that pulls them away from their mission, and they're not somebody that pulls me away from mine. We could come like we're two whole people. My dad would say that, like, when I was growing up, he would say, you know, people say that I met my better half, or my significant other, or my other half. He said he don't believe in that. He said two half people come together and it's just be a mess. He said you got to be whole, and then you meet someone else that's whole, and then y'all come together and build and make greatness, you know? And so I feel like too often people get in relationships with people and the person is not whole, and both of the people aren't whole, and it's a mess, and they help each other to regress. You know, I want to get to that next level of being whole, and then I can go on to the relationship level. You know?
Man. I know you say your father's a bishop, but you over here preaching. You didn't learn something from him. So I love it, man. Learned a lot of some free game right here for the Porch listeners. I hope y'all had your pen and your pad. I was taking notes. So it's our final segment. It's just our quick hitters. You know, we'll ask you just some random kind of fun questions. You give your response, kind of quick, you know, description of why, and then kind of go from there. So I'll get it popping, Bolo, and then we'll just go back and forth from there. So the first one, if you had to pick one, I know you don't like the ifs, but I got to do it one time. If you had to pick one, which would you choose? Great communication or great sex?
Great communication.
Okay.
I love it.
You tell us why real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in I feel like the sex can be improved upon. You know what I'm saying? I've been in a relationship where the sex was terrible, but you know, I helped him to improve. I got his diet together and all of that, and he got better. Well, sex is something that could be fixed, especially if the willingness is there on both parties. But communication, you know, that's a harder thing. Like people, if they stuck in their ways and they've been communicating like this for 30 some years, they're not going to change overnight. It's probably going to take 30 some years for them to change. And I'm not trying to, you know,
I ain't got time for that.
Yeah. Us to be able to talk and get an understanding of each other. That's so important to me.
I love it. Great answer. Great answer. Okay. You got
okay.
Next, Bolo.
So next one. So in honor of your hit song Stingy, what's one thing that you're stingy about in real life that people may not know about?
Keep it real.
I am stingy about like my own plate. You know, I will cook meals and you will have your plates, but don't come trying to eat my food. You know,
Thanks. I feel that.
Great. I feel that.
You pick up all my stuff. What I can't stand is like I come to my house and I think I got some more whatever left and it's gone.
That hit you in a different way.
Erica,
especially if you've been thinking about it all day. You've been thinking about something in that fridge all day. You get there and it's gone.
Yes.
I went to Trader Joe's like yesterday. Got some lemon ice cream with shortbread little chunks in it. It's some of the best ice cream I had in my life. I'm coming home from work, man. I'm in an hour traffic. You know how LA get down.
Yeah.
Wifey gonna text me talking about this ice cream is dangerous. I said, what you mean? What you talking about?
Dangerous.
It's too good. I'm about to eat it. No, you not. I called her so quick. I said, if that ice cream not in that freezer when I get home, we're gonna be talking. We're gonna be communicating. Furniture moving. So I feel you on that one.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I'll fix you your plate, but don't you come like, eating off of mine. Like, this is my plate.
Right, right. You said you wasn't hungry, so don't get hungry now. My plate looking good. That's real. So, okay, next one. Who's one artist who you would love to do a song with, and why?
Andre 3000.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Quick. I love it.
I've been. This is a thing. This is a question I've asked myself a decade ago. I love that man. I'm a huge Outkast fan. Huge Outkast fan. And Andre 3000 is just superb. Like his delivery, his style, how he puts words together. The things that he talks about. He's just dope. And he's somebody I would love to collaborate with.
Man. Andre 3000.
I love it, man. It's a legend right there.
Yes.
True legend.
Shout out to the A.
Right.
Love it. Gotcha.
Okay, next question, Erica. Tell the world why being a Black woman is so dope.
Ooh.
We have to put a time limit on that because being a Black woman is so dope. I mean, we're the mothers of civilization. Like, how much better does it get than that? The mothers of civilization. We have all versatility within us. There's a care and a nurturing spirit that we just have off the rip. You could be around a Black woman, especially an older Black woman, and she don't even know you, but she gonna act like your grandmama. She gonna make sure that you taken care of. She gonna make sure that you straight. That's just the kind of heart that we have. What else? I mean, of course, the physical. We just look damn good. You feel me? The lips,
y'all beautiful.
the eyes, the hair, the skin, the nose. Of it. It's just superb.
The damn ears.
Melanated queens.
Everything. You know what I'm saying? Just our the soul that we have. Can't nobody sing and dance and move. Like, everything that we do, we just put so much more passion in it. You ain't really been loved if you ain't. Oh, I won't say that. That's not nice.
But I mean, hey, this the porch, E. This the porch. Say what you mean.
Like, you ain't really been loved if you ain't been loved by a Black woman.
Black queen.
It's something about our love and how far we go for our families, the stuff that we do for the people that we care about. And that's why I be mad at these podcasts. Be like, oh, these Black women won't do. A Black woman will bend over backwards. She will martyr herself for the people that she loves and she care about.
Drops mic.
Come on now. That's real, man. I don't care if it's your grandma, your mom, your wife, your sister. Every Black woman that I know that's in my circle, man, like superhuman, superstars, like would do anything.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
we are top tier.
Top tier.
Man. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. This is the last one of the episode. This is a fill in the blank. In 5 years, Erica Leshai will be blank.
Will be blank. Erica Leshai will be the greatest. You feel me? Yeah.
I love
take it.
Simple, powerful. Hey, what we always say, Bolo, when you speak it, now it's in the air, it's in the universe. Speak it to existence. She gonna be the greatest, and she gonna drop a song with Andre 3000. You heard it here on the porch first, and I can't wait to have. And only thing we gonna ask Erica, when y'all make the song, when y'all make the music video, consider the porch. Maybe we in the background doing like maybe us three doing like a podcast within the video. You're the creative, so whatever comes to your brain, I'm just saying, just consider this moment because you spoke it right here, man. So
definitely, I will.
But nah, seriously, Erica, this has been an amazing episode. Literally, like one of my favorites. Just so cool learning about you, seeing how down to earth you are, and just really learning from you as well. So a pleasure getting to know you, and you definitely got 2 more supporters in your corner. This is your time here. Anything you want to shout out, promote, kind of let our fans know like where they can find you. This is your time to do that. I know you see you got a lot of good things happening today. I don't know if you got some breaking news you can drop, but here's your time to do what you want.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say the feeling is mutual. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. When I checked out the podcast and I listened to some episodes, I was like, okay, yeah, I would definitely want to have a conversation with these brothers. I like the type of time that they on. So I definitely enjoyed myself. In regards to shouting out some things, you know, I'm going to be in Dallas, Texas, Memorial Day weekend for the FBA Expo. So if anybody is out there, y'all want to come through, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be speaking on the panel. You could always go and stream my music. I'm under Erica Leshai, and that's ERICALESHAI. And I got some more music coming, you know, and other things that are happening as well. So yeah, that's my shout out for now. Always got the earrings on my website. You know what I'm saying? I hand make these.
Yeah.
That's on ericaleshai.com. And yeah, that's what I have to shout out.
I love it, man. I might have caught some earrings for the wife. I'm a whisper.
Facts. Look, he put that out there now. Now I'm gonna have to too. It's gonna be a problem.
Hey,
so.
Why men be competing? Why Darnell buy his girl some earrings? Why you give me some earrings?
Even put it out. Look, it's on wax now. It's on the show. So now we got to make it happen. Now they're gonna listen to it and
it's
be expecting something.
Me, you could talk offline. Make sure we're not getting the same earrings, so we not getting in trouble. So
facts.
Love it.
Well, Erica, we appreciate it. The energy has definitely been reciprocated. Continue to be the best you possible. Definitely feel the energy vibrating at a high frequency right now.
Yes.
And we definitely can see it and feel it as well. So everybody that's listening in, my caffeine people, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for supporting. Go ahead and drop a GIF in there. And please be sure to follow us and listen to us on all of your listening platforms. And just remember, y'all, when you wake up in the morning, just make sure that the best you
is the best you. And we out. Peace.
Started on the porch, that was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we needed. Now we undefeated. If we link, no it's only business. If we get to speak and leave them speechless. I did things for free but now it costs to see me. When you see me, you ain't gotta greet me. Just don't plot to sneak me, I'ma see it. I'ma stop and watch you lose and get defeated. What do we bleed? Came from the jungle, we humble but hungry and hunting to feed. People don't want us to leave. They love us and rush to the bus when we run in the streets, thinking we stunning the sea. We came from nothing to something, now up in the lead. Now we ain't coming in peace, hunting for blood and to crush everyone in the league. We got a reason, we put in work every day of the week, every month, every season. So many schemes, had to go hard for the team. We gave our all and succeeded, came from the deep end. Warming up pots, cooking ramen at times, that was all we was eating. Now we be feasting, 5-star restaurants every week. Whole team dripping cloth and it's seamless. They looking hard when we step on the scene. Call us outcasts, we so fresh and so clean. Ain't about cash, please don't ask for a meeting. Just hit the stoop out the spaz on the beat. Nah, it ain't rude if you ask for the feet. Just play it cool when I tax you the fee. We need a pool in the back with a cord and a board to go jump off and splash for the heat. Live for the day cause the past can determine the future or where you gon' actually be. Keep staying present, our presence a blessing. It's all that we have and we actually need. I'm taking action with passion, detaching the ones who keep acting attached to leech. I am no pastor but actually preaching. Look up these lyrics and actually read them. That was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we needed. Now we undefeated.